everyone. Welcome back to Ghosting with Anya. I'm your host, Anya Smith. Soon I will be Mrs. Christopher Stephen Deity. And yes, Chris and I are technically married, but we still live together. It's actually a fun fact, and I love doing it. So, welcome to episode 139 of Ghosting with Anya of season 5. So we have a new story for you guys tonight. It is called The Music Box in the Guest Room. Something tells me there is a creepy box that plays music, like say old-fashioned music boxes, like from, I don't know, many years ago, handmade box, I guess. Somehow it was belonged to some kind of child, maybe. I don't really know. But anyway, just to let you guys know that we are still moving. So we've been loading our stuff to the car and taking them to our new house, unloading them and organizing our house little by little, which is tonight. So we did that. Tonight we did more boxes, and we just took the pictures to the new house, and we're going to have someone help us put the pictures on the walls. But yeah, so we took some winter coats, bags, and other shit like my crochet hooks. They're already at the new house in the basement. That's where I'm keeping them because I need shelves so I can put my shit in there because I have a lot of shit. So little by little is when we are literally putting our stuff into the car, taking them to the new house, unloading them, and putting them in the living room. Some can be in the bedroom, some can be in the bathroom or in the office. Some can be in the kitchen. So that is where we put our shit. So this weekend, we are officially going to be sleeping at the new house, and I can't wait. So my husband just called the internet company called Cox, C-O-X. They said they will come and set up our internet Wi-Fi data thing on the 28th between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. So we got that going, but they'll be here on the 28th. But every day we will be sleeping at the new house, especially at night. But before Chris and I, get ready for our next day, I will be coming back to this current place and do my evening show. And I hope you guys are still, waiting for ghost stories. I could do midday, maybe this Saturday, while I'm still here, because I will be at Grandma Barrett's house, having a party for my cousin-in-law's party. They're graduating from high school and getting ready to go to the college. They're going to Metro College, which is right here in Omaha. So that is why we're actually celebrating. Anyway, I hope you guys are ready. So let's get started on the story. But anyway, I hope you guys are still brave enough to listen to the story. I know it can be very creepy because of the weird shit that's been going around the stories. Maybe it might be happening in real life too. So let's just get started. But yeah, so anyway, thank you guys for subscribing and following me right here on YouTube. So we've got one person that is watching me right now, and it's already 8:45 p.m. So Grandma Peg and Grandpa Bob are already in bed. They usually go to bed by 8:30, but they're not watching my show because they're already asleep. So anyway, I hope you all ready. So let's get started on the story. So please click like, share, and subscribe to Ghosting with Anya. And tomorrow night, I will be back here for my next episode 140. So, anyway, I do this every night. Right after I help my husband continue loading up our stuff in the car, taking them to our new house, and unloading them and organizing them. This is what we do. Because after that, we're going to have furniture in our new house and set up our internet so that way I can continue working from my new house while I do the podcast. Because during the evening, I'll be reading you guys a ghost stories, and during the day my husband will be doing his day job, the same room as me in the office. So we are going to share the office, not a work building office, but an actual home office. That's what we have. So anyway, let's get started on the story. So we're still on season 5. We are in episode 139. So all right, just sit back, relax, get something to drink maybe, and please click like, share, and subscribe, and let's go with the story. I hope you're all brave enough to listen to it, and if you're too afraid, maybe this channel might not be for you guys, but that's okay. If there's any kids who are watching this, protect them from anything, because this story can be very scary to even younger children, like 6-year-olds. I'm just trying to make sure the 6-year-old kids not watch a show until they're old enough, because one day when they grow up, they might see my show from the beginning, like on season 1 all the way to like season 15 or whenever. I can always start any season right after season 15. I can go on season 16, 17, 18. It doesn't even matter. So I just want to make sure, parents, that you protect your kids, and I hope it's appropriate for only adults. So I was not into this ghost story podcasts until last year. So this is why I chose it now, and let's get started on this story. Maybe it might be longer this time, hopefully. It doesn't matter because it's almost 9 o'clock. So let's do the story. The Music Box in the Guest Room, episode 139. Olivia and her husband, Dean, bought the house because it was cheap for its size and because the realtor described it as full of original characters, which they would later agree is often code for unexplained problems. The house was Victorian without being grand, with a narrow front stair, stained glass transoms, and a second-floor guest room. Everyone seemed to forget was there because it sat at the end of the short, of a short side hall hidden behind a linen closet. Olivia liked the room immediately. It had floral wallpaper, a little dormer window, and an old built-in cabinet with drawers so shallow they could only have been meant for gloves or letters. Dean disliked it for no reason he could articulate. He said the room felt occupied even when empty, as though it belonged to a part of the house that had not been informed new owners had arrived. Olivia dismissed him. Houses feel strange before they become yours. That is all. Something tells me that um, Olivia doesn't believe that it can be very freaky, but once they settle in and a couple months go by, then the strangest thing starts to happen. I mean, when I moved in, I didn't even think that we could have any ghosts in our own building until my husband told me that our neighbor from the third floor on our side passed away and ended up being haunted. The house, well, the apartment in the third floor on our side is pretty much haunted.
Yes.
And our new neighbor moved in and asked me if there was any ghosts. And I'm like, yeah, there's just one friendly, gentle old man who passed away. He was a nice man, but I never had a chance to meet him, but he died before I even moved in with my husband. So this is why this story can be related to anyone, to any Victorian houses. I haven't even been to a Victorian house. So maybe one day we'll figure it out. Maybe one day we will go see the Victorian old-fashioned haunted house. Maybe. And maybe we can investigate it and try to get the evidence from the dead. Maybe some answers. Maybe we will communicate with the good ones. We could communicate with the bad ones. So anyway, let's continue on the story. We are in 13 minutes. Hopefully it might be an hour or so. It just depends, because we got other shit to do. I gotta finish knitting. I'm making a blanket by knitting in rectangulars, like knit one, purl one in 31 stitches with the straight knitting needles. So I'm making one for my friend because she asked me to. She wanted one again because maybe she keeps losing it. That's why I keep making it. So it'll take me months, just like crocheting one. I learned how to make corners. Each corner I do with a chain one and continue crocheting. So that's how I make corners every time I make a new corner and continue crocheting. That's how I make single crochet of the blanket. I like to make it pretty, like all the colors, not just one solid color. So anyway, let's continue on the story. I hope you guys are getting all spooky. I hope you are staying spooky and staying safe at home with your loved ones. So it can be very chilling. I'm not keeping the lights off. I'm keeping it on so that way I don't get scared myself. So I have my husband with me at all times, especially at night when we're all asleep. Anyway, let's continue on. The trouble started with the music. Late one evening, while Dean was traveling for work, Olivia woke to the faint tune of a music box drifting through the upstairs hall. It was not loud or dramatic, just the sort of fragile melody one might almost miss under floor creaks and radiator hiss. She assumed at first that some old toy in a packed moving box had been disturbed, but when she followed the sound, she found it coming from the guest room cabinet. Inside the top drawer, beneath yellow lace and an embroidered handkerchief she had not seen before, sat a small silver music box. The melody stopped the moment she touched it. Olivia was certain she had emptied that cabinet herself during the move and found nothing, yet there it was, cold and tarnished, as though it had been waiting for her to open exactly the correct drawer. Something tells me that this box was waiting for this girl, Olivia. I mean, maybe it chose her. Maybe there's a spirit who liked playing with this music box, and somehow, when this child had died and left this music box, and I don't know, never touched it again. So I'm guessing this music box somehow was haunted by the spirit of a young child. It could have belonged to a little kid. Could be a boy, it could be a girl. But let's find out. So I hope this might belong to a little kid. Like maybe a little girl, maybe she was age 5 or 6 years old. We don't really know. So anyway, let's continue on the story and we'll figure it out with the questions, including answers. And after that, I will sign off and get ready for tomorrow because my producer and I are going to be running errands all the time. We're going to the library and finish reading my novel. So far, I have read 4 pages. I'm on Chapter 6, Part 3 of Stephen King, The Wizard in Glass, The Dark Tower, number 4. I have not read any of his books until I got The Wizard in Glass, The Dark Tower book. So it's the 4th one, but I have not read any of his books, but I have seen his show. It's very haunting and creepy based on his paranormal experience because he had it when he was younger and he is still writing his novels. Even to this day, he is still experiencing a lot of paranormal stuff. So anyway, let's continue on. The next day, Olivia asked Dean whether he had put the box there as some kind of joke. He denied it, but she could see from his expression that he believed she had found something genuinely old. They checked the attic, basement, and even the box is still unpacked in the dining room, hoping to locate a practical origin for the object. Nothing matched. That night, the music began again. This time, before Olivia was even fully asleep, Dean heard it too. Together, they followed the tune to the guest room. The box sat on the windowsill now, not inside the cabinet. playing on its own in the moonlight. Dean reached to close it, but before his fingers touched the lid, both of them saw the shape of a child reflected in the dark window behind it. A little girl standing at the room's threshold with one hand on the frame. When they turned, the doorway was empty. I knew there was something about the story, something to do with a little girl dying and leaving her um, music box. She liked playing with it because it gave her comfort when she died. I mean, like she was sick for a long time somehow, or maybe someone took her life because I don't know what happened to this child. So I don't know, maybe she existed, that's why she died. But let's find out what really happened to this little girl, how she died, and how she became trapped in that house several decades ago, maybe. Something like that. It depends. Let's just find out. So let's continue on. We are in 21 minutes now. My throat can be very scratchy and dry. That's why I drink a lot of tea, soda, water, hot chocolate, maybe apple cider, like hot apple cider, or whatever I'm drinking. Depends. So I'll have to refill that really soon. So let's continue on. I hope you guys are doing all right. But I'm doing okay as well. I hope you guys are listening very carefully. I'm not trying to talk that fast because I know you would not understand. So that's why I'm talking a bit slow, but not too slow. Just like a medium fast, but not too much. So let's continue on the story. By morning, Dean wanted to get rid of the box. Olivia was less sure. Something about it felt personal rather than malicious. And she did not like the idea of tossing away what might have belonged to a dead child. So instead, she took the music box to a local antique dealer who specialized in estate objects. The woman behind the counter examined it quietly and said the engraving style dated to around the early 1900s. More troubling was the inscription inside the lid, nearly worn away, but still legible. In certain light, for Clara when thunder comes. Olivia asked whether the dealer knew anything about the house on Willow Street. After a pause, the woman said an old family story connected it to a little girl named Clara, who had died young and was said to hide in the guest room during storms because the music box claimed her. The room had once belonged to her nurse, not her parents. After hearing that, Olivia began to understand why the space had always felt borrowed rather than vacant. Aw, it's so sad that child had died in a house because of the storm.
Very sad.
It was in the early 1900s. I think it was like 1903 maybe?
Could be.
1904, I'm not really sure.
Maybe.
It's been 100 years and that child might still be down there somewhere.
Good.
Yeah. What did you do with my shit?
It's all in this bag, babe.
Oh, all my meds too?
Yep.
Well, I need them so I can take them.
Well, they're all in the bag, so you can get to them. I just wanted to clear off this table.
Okay. I was hoping I would put them in that bag.
Oh, okay. Well, you can move them there, but they're all right here for you.
Thank you. So, but yeah, so like I said before, this little girl somehow passed away. I don't know how she died and what killed her. I don't know who did it. It must have been a nurse, maybe, or the storm came and killed her somehow. Maybe the storm did it, struck her, and she just died just like that instantly. Some people actually can end up dead by the storms, like struck by lightning or burned alive, disintegrated somehow, maybe. And there's like so many ways people can pass away. There's like 50 ways to end up like that. Um, Clearly, that's all I could think of right now. But anyway, let's continue on this story. We're going to be done soon. We are in 26 minutes. Wow. Storms did indeed seem to wake the room on the first heavy storm after finding the box. The music began before the rain even reached the windows. It played in starts and stops, as if winding and unwinding itself. With nervous hands, Olivia and Dean stood together in the hall, listening while thunder rolled over the roof. Then came another sound, small feet running from the main staircase. The guest room, followed by the swift slam of the door. Dean forced himself to open it. The room beyond was empty except for the music box. Turning on the dresser and the curtains, lifting through, though the window was latched, on the bedspread lay a single child's shoe, damp around the sole, its leather cracked with age. Olivia did not pick it up. She simply closed the door gently, as one would if someone frightened were finally asleep on the other side. This is so weird. I mean, I don't know what happened to this kid. I hope that this little girl got her music box back, and hopefully this little girl found her mommy and daddy and moved on into the afterlife with them. Perhaps it happened in the early 1900s, like, I don't know, maybe like, say, 1903 or 1904. I don't know. We'll figure something out. So I don't know what really happened. So it's just so sad and tragic. It's like almost violent way to end up dying and getting trapped in the house, like literally as a ghost. I mean, I've seen a movie called Ghost, and guess what? Patrick Swayze was in the movie, and Demi Moore was in it too. Also, Whoopi Goldberg. She played the role of one of the psychic mediums who could see a ghost and speak to the ghost and help the living get closure, especially help a spirit find peace in the afterlife, like Patrick Swayze. I mean, he died during the movie, so like during the filming of the movie called Ghost. It was filmed in late 90s to early 2000s. And I've watched it and it was so sad. I mean, he could have been like, if he was in 2026, he would still be alive and he would be like really old. But he died sometime in 1990s, I guess. I don't know, late 90s to early 2000s. I don't really know, but I've seen it. So, anyway, let's continue on the story. So, we are in 31 minutes. They searched city records, church books, and cemetery maps until they pieced together enough of Clara's story to feel less helpless before it. She had died during a summer storm after an illness worsened. Suddenly, likely in the very room where the music still played, her parents, according to local notes, were often away, leaving much of her care to the household nurse. Several neighbors later recalled hearing the music box in the days after her death, though no one admitted entering the room. Olivia found that detail heartbreaking. It suggested not a monstrous haunting, but a child returning to the place where comfort had once lived when thunder frightened her. Dean, though still uneasy, stopped calling the box cursed. He began calling it Clara's, which was a different kind of surrender. In time, Olivia and Dean made a quiet arrangement with the room. The guest room remained furnished but unused, and when storms rolled in, Olivia would place the music box on the dresser and leave the door ajar. Sometimes the melody played only once. Other nights it went on in fragments until dawn, accompanied by the faint rustle of blankets or the impression that a small shape had just passed around the corner. They never saw Clara clearly again, but once, after a storm passed, Olivia entered the room to find the old handkerchief folded neatly beside the closed box, and a child's careful handwriting traced in the dust on the dresser. I heard it. She burst into tears before she knew why, perhaps because fear answered is different from fear ignored, perhaps because even the dead may return, only to make sure the thunder has been heard with them. That is so tragic, you guys. I mean, a young girl named Clara. She died of some kind of storm. Well, she was sick for a long time, but I don't really know how long she's been sick. Since the moment she was born in the early 1900s, I don't know. So this tells me that Olivia was heartbroken when she found the records and found out the hard way what really happened to this child. It was just so sad when Clara died and left the box. She loved it so much. It was a comfort for her. That's why she liked the music box. That's why she liked playing with it when the storm was scaring her. So Olivia decided to help this little girl. Hopefully, this little girl named Clara found peace and found what she was, you know, looking for, I guess. So, but the storm can be very scary sometimes, but the storm can actually hear what we are saying. So, now we've got some audience questions. I hope you guys can have any opinions to this story. If you think this story can be very heartbreaking, I hope you guys leave me a comment down below. So let's get started. There's only 10 questions, and hopefully I can answer my very best. So
You're doing good.
I know I'm trying to get some answers for my fans.
Good. Donuts, that's the answer.
In your dreams. But I could use one anyway. Alright, so let's get started on the questions. Would you have kept the music box or gotten rid of it?
I would have kept it.
I probably would too, yes. I think Olivia did the right thing to keep the box, even though she found out what really happened to this kid. But the sad part is that we don't really know how old this child really was. She was from the 20th century, which is like the early 1900s. I mean, it was summertime. It was like sometime June or July of the 1900s, and she was feeling feverish maybe, and I don't know what kind of illness that she died, maybe yellow fever, flu, and I don't know. She was like, I don't know what really happened. So, well, I think Olivia did the right thing, convincing her husband to keep the music box in the guest room where the child had passed away. So, if I were Olivia, I would make sure that this little girl named Clara had her music box because it comforted her. It's the only thing that could keep her from being more afraid of the storms. I think it was like rainstorm, thunderstorm that scared Claire in the early 1900s.
Yep.
So, I mean, if I were Olivia, I would try to calm her down, play the music box for her, and she will be very happy. So, we would definitely do the same thing. All right, we got another question. So, let's go to number 2. What do you think Clara wanted from the guest room? She wanted her music box. She liked it. She also wanted to get noticed, and she wanted people to remember her, like acknowledge her and help her move on into the afterlife. That's exactly what Olivia could have done. Making sure she was, calmed down, making sure she had what she wanted. She wanted her mommy and daddy, of course. Claire's parents had passed away sometime in 1900s. Perhaps. Maybe Clara somehow died in the year 1905 or 1906. I don't know. there was one kid actually did live in 1900s, and she passed away. So I think she wanted the music box. Perhaps maybe Clara chose um, Olivia and Dean, so she could trust them. Mostly Olivia. So that's why she let Olivia find the box and take it to the guest room. So if you guys think Clara chose Olivia to find the box and play with her, I think she wanted to play with someone, get someone to notice her, help her. I mean, I probably would too, yes. Let's go to number 3. Why do storms often trigger childhood based hauntings? The reason why is because old houses can settle in on anything, especially with storms. Let's say there was one kid who lived in the early 1900s, and in the Victorian house, somehow something terrible must have happened in that house. And then in the modern times, which is like 21st century version, 100 years later, new owners get the house, maybe inherited the house, ended up buying it and renovating it after cleaning it, and then they find something that's not supposed to be there, and then they see something that's not really human or something. But the spirits come to these houses because they return to where it happened. The hauntings can be either friendly or violently unfriendly, of course. But for Clara, when she died in that house, in the guest room, that must have been her room once when she was alive, back in the early 1900s. So she returned to that house because she wanted her music box. This is why she liked it so much. If I were her, I would make sure Clara had that box, made sure she played with it, made sure she was comfortable and safe, away from the storms. I would clearly make sure she was okay. But the hauntings can be more brutal than ever. It's like a time loop. She's reliving the day she died. She's trapped because she can't move on because she had no one else to tell her what happened, how to comfort her, how to help her find peace, find a quiet, afterlife, maybe reunite with her mommy and daddy, probably. Okay, let's go to number 4. What was more unsettling, the music or the reflected child?
Both.
I think it's both, yes. Thank you. So, yeah, I think it might be all the above. I'm asking all of you guys who are watching my show right now, do you think the music box can be unsettling or the reflected little child? Let me know in the comments down below and let me know what you guys think, because I think all the above. So, anyway, let's go to number 5. Children can be very unsettling sometimes. It's because they don't know they're dead. They're confused. They're too young. And they think they're still alive even though they're no longer in the physical world. They are in the spirit world. So spirits can be like in between, like say in the spirit world and in the physical world. but children don't know that they're dead. But somehow they go back into the beginning, and that's when it clicks. So the only thing that comforted them when they were alive was some kind of music box and a toy. Like any kind of toy, like say a stuffed animal that protects them, maybe a doll. It depends. But for Clara, it was the music box. So let's go to number 5. Do you believe objects can anchor a spirit to a place? Of course they can. Yes, it can. So if I were Olivia, I would literally try to communicate with Clara. And Clara would have told me what really happened in that house, and she would, I don't know, trust me and show me how she died and how could I help her move on. How could I tell her there's nothing left for her in the physical world, like on Earth? Help her find her mommy, who is probably maybe in heaven, and her daddy too. So I would probably help her go into the light. She'll probably smile and trust me, give me a hug, and then she'll literally go into the light. I'll just tell her everything's gonna be okay. You go ahead. There's gonna be someone there for you. We'll be there to see you. And she probably would. So it can be an anchor to an actual physical world. It just depends. Let's go to number 6. Was Olivia right to treat the room gently instead of fighting the haunting? Tally, come here, baby. Come on. I think Olivia did the right thing to treat very gently. Anyway, if I were Olivia, I would do the exactly same thing that Olivia did. I would totally treat it like it belonged to Clara the ghost, an infant, or like an innocent child. Sorry, my cat was meowing and she wanted something. Anyway, I would literally help Clara find her mommy and reunite it with her. She'll be very happy, especially with the music box. I'll keep it in the guest room on the bed, maybe play it for her, and she'll be very happy about it. I would leave the room exactly the way it was instead of messing with it. If I were Olivia, I probably would literally just leave it unused, even for God knows how long. All right, let's go to number 7. What do you make of the message, I heard it? It probably meant that the spirit heard the message from the living. It probably was saying that Olivia was heartbroken and she told Clara that she will not mess with her stuff. She will keep the room the way it was. And Clara probably smiled and then she moved on into heavens with other kids maybe and her parents too. But I think it meant that she's okay. And I think it also meant that Olivia was chosen to help this child. And Clara trusted her and she felt very loved and calm, comforted, and protected. So Clara finally found peace, and she finally left the room, left the house, and found more peace than ever. She's at rest now. Okay, so let's go to number 8. We've got 3 questions before I sign off. Why are sad ghost stories sometimes more powerful than frightening ones? Well, the reason why is because a lot of ghost stories can be sad because of somehow spirits are tragically have showed us how they died. The reason why is just so sad. It's sad because the way kids had died at a very young age, and especially adults, like say from hundreds of years ago. Ooh. So anyway, this is how stories can be. Just the living will probably have to find a way to help the spirits to move on into the afterlife. This one can be very powerful because the living can help with anything. Well, they can do anything to help the spirits to move on in the afterlife. That's why it's powerful instead of frightening.
Super powerful.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Refilling your water bottle.
With water?
Yes.
Thank you. So I can take my meds.
Yes.
I need to take them anyway. Okay, we got 2 questions left before I sign off. It's 9:32 already, and I gotta get ready for tomorrow. Would you have ever leave a room in your house unused out of respect for something unseen? Tally, come to mama. Yes, I probably would leave it the way it was. So, yeah. I probably definitely would let the spirit use it instead of myself. Anyway, I would respect the spirit's space and boundaries. I would make sure I will never come to the room unannounced. I would literally just tell the spirit, hey, I'm coming in. If you guys need anything, just let me know. All the spirits would. And I would tell the spirit, let me know what you need. I will come knock. If you want me to knock, I'll knock. That's how respectable it should be. That's how respectable I'll be to the spirits. If I were Olivia, I would definitely leave the room for the spirits to play with instead of come in unannounced. Okay, we've got 1 more question left before I sign off. We are in 54 minutes now. If a spirit returned only during storms, would that make it easier or harder to live there? Well, I think it's easier for spirits to return during storms because it's the only way for them. But for me, it can be either easier or harder. I think it might be maybe both. What do you think about it?
Probably harder.
Yeah. So I think for Chris, it's probably going to be harder if we share a house in all the rooms with the spirit. I'm guessing I actually agree with my husband, but for the spirits, it's easier for them. Okay, so we are out of time. I just want to say thank you guys for listening. And I hope you guys leave me a comments down below and leave me any opinions of the story. If anything that's confusing, please leave me a comment down below right here on YouTube. And we'll figure something out. There's going to be a new story by tomorrow, episode 140. Here's the new story for you guys by tomorrow. It is called The Watchman on Pier 7. This is a new one. It's something to do with the lighthouse, maybe, from hundreds of years ago. A watchman. I'm thinking a lighthouse keeper. That's what I think. Anyway, thank you guys and have a wonderful night. Stay safe, stay spooky. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow on Ghosting with Anya on live stream on YouTube. Please click like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you all tomorrow night, same time as always. Have a wonderful night. And I'll let you know when it's time for us to move to another location, and I'm still going to be doing my podcast. Same time as always, but in a different location. Good night, and please click like, share, and subscribe. May God protect you all, and we'll see you all tomorrow night. Bye!